this is Rosa Kelly. So I'm here today with a new tutorial for JS Hobbies and Crafts. This time I'm going to be working with The Sound of Winter by Ciao, and I love how rustic it is. And I have all these supplies. As you can see, I am going to have a complete list of the supplies that I will be using on the description box below, together with a link to the store. Now I know most of us are probably ready for spring, but I think it is the perfect time now that winter is almost over, or it's actually, it should be over. I don't know why still it's so cold, but I do have tons of pictures that I kind of need to put together in an album, so it is a good time for me to do a winter album. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start with my craft color cardstock. This is just 65-pound cardstock weight, and I'm gonna make the sheets very simple for this album. So if you're a new crafter, this is a perfect tutorial for you. So I'm going to start by simply folding my cardstock in half. Now my cardstock measures 8.5 by 11, so I'm just gonna fold this. So this is gonna be the size of my base page. Okay, so simple. This is our base. So here we go. So we're gonna start with that. Now I'm gonna grab a second one, and I'm gonna also fold in half, just like this. Now the collection is super rustic, so I am going to be adding some elements such as, you know, a little bit of distressing on, you know, using my Tim Holtz inks. I'm probably gonna be adding some stitching, but that is not necessary for you to follow. You can just follow the construction of the album. So now I'm gonna fold this on half one more time here on this second page, just like that. And I'm actually gonna fold it both ways. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same with the other side. I'm gonna fold this in half, just like this, and I'm gonna fold this to the other side as well. So I want to minimize the cutting because I do want to make the album super easy to do. So this is why I chose to simply just fold the papers instead of cutting so much. So now I'm gonna open up this page, and the second page that we just did, I'm actually going to glue right on top of this one. Now I'm only going to be gluing, and let me fold this to the outside like so. This is why I folded it both ways, because I want this to be very flexible. Okay, so I'm just gonna simply add my either tape or glue on the two outside panels. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this side. I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue here. Now I get a lot of questions on what type of glue I use and what do I recommend, and I definitely recommend the art glitter glue. It does not wrinkle your paper, it dries super quickly, and you only need a tiny amount, just like this. So do get the applicator as well, and all that is also available on the store. So I'm going to simply just match the corners from these two pages and press this side down. And now that I have it where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and add glue on this other panel here. So we're not gluing down the two center panels. Okay, so now I'm just gonna press this down, and I'm going to push. I'm gonna put my hand through the inside here and just bring this out, and I'm gonna close it just like this. Okay, so this is our first page, and when we open it, it has a little pop-up thingy. It's not quite a pop-up actually, but I think it looks really interesting how when you open your page, it kind of looks like, you know, looks like that. You guys know I like trying new crazy things, so I love how this one came out. So now I'm going to do a different type of page, and you can mix and match the pages that I'm designing as, you know, as much as you like, or You can create one and repeat that one if that's easier for you. So I'm going to do the same thing here by folding in half, just like this. Just super simple. I'm just going to press this down really good, just like that. So we have another page here. And now I'm going to grab this other page. Now you could fold or you could score. So because I'm not going to fold this one in half, I'm going to use my scoreboard. So let me bring this out, just like right there. And I need my tool. So then I'm just going to score this page at 5 and at 10. Oops, here we go. So creating these little fold again. So this is not quite on half. This is why I'm using the board. And I'm gonna fold this 1 inch in, just like so. Now I'm gonna grab my second page and I'm going to glue this piece in here. Now you could place it on this side or you can place it on the other side, but I think I'm actually going to do 2, 1 for each side, so it doesn't matter which side we put it on. So I'm just gonna add my glue here on the 1 inch. You could also use your double-sided tape. Okay, so now all I'm gonna do is just match the corners on this left side. Not quite matching, so that's the good thing about working with glue too. It makes it a lot easier to pull up and adjust compared to using tape. Using tape, you're kind of stuck on the one try. So I'm actually gonna open this so I can see exactly where I want to be here on the corner and here. I'm gonna press this before my glue dries completely. Okay, and then I'm going to do 1 more of those. Now I have the 2 pieces added and we're gonna close this up like this and we have our page 2 done. So for my third page, I'm kind of gonna do something similar to the first one with a little twist. So I'm just gonna again fold this page in half. So this is the first one, my base. And then I'm gonna grab the second sheet and I'm going to fold in half. Just like that. And then I'm gonna fold this in half again. Here. And then I will do the same with this other side. I'm gonna fold it in half again, okay? Just like the first sheet. So now I have this long piece. I'm going to grab my scoreboard and I am going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, and now I'm scoring along the 8.5 inch side, and then I'm going to score at 4 and 4.5, and then I'm gonna score at 8. Okay, so you basically want 1/2 inch on each side, and then you want 1/2 inch at 4 inches, like so. Now I'm going to just close this up again, and I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm just gonna cut at all these score lines. Okay, so you could actually use your paper trimmer if you like. I just think it's easier to just do it with, you know, do it this way. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut this one right there. Now I'm going to open this up and I'm going to push these ones out like this and like this. So when we glue this onto our base, we're gonna do the same thing we did first. We're gonna glue these 2 panels, but now we're also going to glue these little 1/2 inch strips, okay? And then, so let me go ahead and do that. Let me put the glue on this side, glue all over this side. And then I'm gonna do glue on these little 1/2 inch little pieces. 1/2 inch little piece. Okay, so now that I have the glue all in place, so basically we're just not adding glue on these 2 spots. I'm just gonna match these and place it right on top of the first one. Okay, so make sure that it's glue all the way. And now I'm just going to, these ones that we didn't, those are the ones that are going to come out towards us. So let's see if I can pull it out and just bend it to the inside, just like that. Okay, so then when we open it, it's a little bit of a variation to this page. So for this page, you kind of have long layouts. For this one, you could put small pictures on each one of these squares. So it is like a fun little pop-up card as well, if you think about it. All right, so then one more page. For this last page, I'm going to fold it in half again. And then I'm going to use 2 more sheets. So I'm going to fold one in half, just like this. And I am actually going to cut this one up a little bit, and I'm also going to score. So first, let me open it again, and I'm going to score 1/2 inch along one side. Okay, you want to do it on the long side over here. And then let me grab my paper cutter right here, like so. So let me close this one up, and you just want to take just about, let's take a 1/4 out, okay? Just a little piece, just a tiny piece like this. And then I'm gonna open this up, and I'm gonna take half of this line out. So let me put this right here like so. And I want to cut from here out this piece, and then I'm just going to cut it up like so. Okay, so you want a piece that looks just like this, and I'm going to now add it to the page. Now we're gonna use 2 of the same, so I'm showing you how to do one, but you're gonna need 2. I'm gonna fold along this little notch here, this little flap, and I'm going to add this flap into the base page. So I'm just gonna add some glue, oops, right over there. Let me close this up and just place it right along the top, just like so. Make sure everything matches. I have this weird corner here, so I'm just gonna take that out. So then this is going to open up like that, and then it will also open to the top like so. So then I'm gonna do the same for 1 more sheet, and we're gonna place it on this side. Here I have the second one, so you want to make sure that this will open to the left. So we're gonna fold the notch back, and oops, little piece sticking out. And now I'm just gonna add my glue. So the reason why we take just a little 1/4 inch here on one of the sides is so we can close this page easily, and it's not, you know, this page is not on top of the gusset here on the center, not the gusset, but you know, the folding line. So now this way we will open it up like this. These are not touching, so it's very easy to open and close. And then so these 2 pages open to the side, and they also open to the top. Okay, so now we have our 4 pages. Now you can add more if you like, and then we can, you know, you can repeat some of the designs depending on how many pages you want on your album. So I'm gonna cut pieces of 2.5 inches by 8.5. Okay, so we are going to need 5 of those. So now we're gonna score these pieces at 1 and 1.5. All right, so we are going to do the same, 1 and 1.5. Now we're gonna put it all together. So I'm gonna start with the first one here. We're just gonna fold along the score lines, fold, you know, both lines. So we're gonna have a little piece like so. Now on the first one, this is gonna be attached to the outside cover. So we only need to add one of these. So I'm just gonna use glue. We can also use tape, of course. And so then I'm just gonna make sure this is right on top here of that. Okay, make sure you're even and all that stuff. Now I'm gonna do the same on the back. So I'm gonna grab my second connection piece, and again I'm gonna fold along these score lines just like that, and I'm gonna add one of the sides like this to this side now. So I like to lay it flat so I know exactly where my corners are, just like this. Okay, and I'm just gonna add glue on this other 1 inch. Okay, bring it up, and I'm gonna grab my next page and I'm just gonna place it right on top of my glue. So you want to put it on the 1 inch. Okay, so you leave the 1/2 inch gussets alone. So now when we stand this up, you see the gusset right in between those 2 pages, just like that. Oh, we gotta wait for it to dry. But anyway, so now I'm just gonna continue adding the collection pieces to the pages. Okay, so now we have the base of, you know, the pages ready, and so here's all together. So now let's do the covers. So for the covers, I already went ahead and cut 2 pieces of chipboard at 8.5 by 5.5, which is exactly the size of each one of these pages. So I'm going to wrap my chipboard on the craft color cardstock here. So I'm simply just going to glue this down, just like so, and I'm going to just wrap around it. First I'm gonna fold it, you know, all the sides, make sure it's, whoops, make sure it's where you want it. Fold this side as well. Okay, so we do all the sides first, just like that, and then we're going to take out the corners just as if we were wrapping, you know, the covers, what we usually do. All right, and now I'm just gonna add these pieces here, and I'm just using glue right now to, you know, work faster, but I think for this step tape will be probably a little bit better, just because it dries faster. Okay, so then I'm just gonna do all the sides. Okay, so I have the 2 covers wrapped up on one of the sides. So before I add this into my album, I am going to grab a new piece of cardstock, and I'm going to score this piece. Now this is going to be for my spine, so all I'm going to do here is just score add, I'm gonna do 1.5 inches, okay, and then I'm going to score on every 1/8 of an inch, okay, and I'm going to do, I don't know if you can see these little tiny lines. You see that? So I'm going every 1/8 of an inch all the way, let's see, until, let's do it until 4 inches, because I want to have enough to wrap my whole cover. So I'm kind of gonna see how much we need. Okay, so I did it all the way to 6 inches, and then I'm going to cut this, let's just cut it at 7.5. I'm gonna fold these, and we score it so many times, so what we're trying to do here is just give it this circular type of shape. So that's what you want to do, just play with it a little bit. So we're just gonna put a little glue in there and match it up just like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna lay it down, and so I have the first side glued down, and now for the second side, for the back, I'm just gonna make sure that this is laying flat. Let me show you the top view. So I'm gonna lay it flat, but I'm not gonna glue it, okay, on this center part. So I'm just gonna lay these flat, and then I'm just gonna add glue on this 1 inch. Okay, so this is the 1 inch from the last page. So again, I'm gonna make sure this is extended all the way, and now I'm just gonna press this down like this. So I have a piece like so, but when we close it, this is kind of going to go in a little circle like this. It looks really cool from the outside. All right, so now I'm going to add my covers. I'm going to just add glue on this whole part like this. So we do want lots of glue for that step. Now I'm just gonna grab the cover and place it right here. So I'm actually gonna open it and make sure that it is glued down all the way. Okay, and then we'll do the same on this back side. All in here. I know it kind of sounds a little bit annoying, so I apologize. Okay, so let me just place my back cover in here, and then I'm gonna open it, and then just make sure it's glued all the way. Okay, so we have our book ready, at least the base is ready, and I really like how this actually looks like a book because we did the round spine, like like an antique type of book. So when we open the pages, we're going to decorate that, but I just really like some of these pop-up interactive pages, and then of course we have the double accordion page. And then here we have the in-between pages are the flat pages. Then we have some pop-up again, another flat. Now these are the ones that we open to the side, and we opened up as well. And here is the last one, and I love the round spine. Okay, so now let's decorate. So we're gonna start decorating the cover. So I'm going to just pick some of my favorite papers for the cover. Now I'm going to do a lot of layering and make my book look kind of rustic. So I'm going to use this image here, and I am going to use this little fox here as my centerpiece. and I'll probably use another one to just layer. So let me start by cutting this sheet, and I'm going to use this side. I don't want to cut into the squirrel, but I'm going to cut this at 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to use this as my main background. So what I'm gonna do to make this look a little bit rustic, I'm just going to grab my scissors and this dress and give it a torn look. Okay, so now that is going to go on the background. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue it at this point. Okay, so I'm gonna place it right on top here. So now I'm gonna use my burlap. I want to create quite a lot of layers in here, so I am going to cut a piece and just create a layer with the burlap here. So I'm going to cut this out a little bit smaller, just like that, and then I'm just going to take some of these out so it has that little edge as well. All right, so now I'm gonna place this as the next layer. I'm going to make this a little bit more even. Okay, just like that. I can actually go ahead and do the other side as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna get some of these out and make a layer there. And then, where is my little fox? I'm going to cut the fox. But I think I'm going to probably add one more layer, and I'm going to do the same technique. So now I have 2 layers, but I feel like I want another layer behind that, so I'm going to use this. Actually looks really pretty. I love how this looks. So I'm just gonna trim this a little bit smaller and try to use this little piece of scraps and give my project a little bit more dimension. So I'm just gonna distress this corner here. Okay, and I'll probably layer this under that, just kind of something like this. I think I already like how this is looking, and then maybe I can do just another bit of cardstock, just a random piece like this. So I think I like how this is looking. Now before I add these pieces, before I add this guy, I'm going to give them even a little bit more dimension by using my chipboard, and this is some of my leftover pieces. So I'm just gonna glue this on the back of him. Okay, so we make him strong and sturdy, and also we're adding a little bit more dimension. Okay, so now I'm just going to glue the papers as I have them to create the multiple layers. One right there, one right here. Whoops, this will go like here, like so. Okay, so I'm gonna use some fabric tack to add my burlap. I'm just gonna kind of put it in the center. Okay, and so place this down. I also went ahead and used this dye that you can also find on the store, and look how pretty it cuts. I love it. So I'm going to use some of that. I'm going to put some under my image, maybe like this. Maybe I'm going to, let me separate these two so I can do maybe one there and maybe one on this side. So it's kind of sticking out like that. I like how that looks, so I'm just gonna just glue this down so it doesn't move. Just like this, and then I think I'm ready to add these. Actually, no, I'm gonna be using some of these hemp as well. I think this is gonna give it like a really rustic type of look, which is what I'm going for. And I'm just gonna get a random piece like that. I'm just gonna go kind of in a circle, and I'm gonna just place this up here. So I'm gonna hold it with some glue so it's not moving, but then I'm also going to press it down with the image. So I'm just gonna make it look a little bit messy. So now I'm just gonna add this image right up there. So I am really liking all the layers. It has that look, you know, it has a lot of dimension. And so now I'm just gonna embellish the front a little more with another one of these pieces, and then I have these flowers. So I'm gonna be doing a little bit of each, but also I do want to come back here to this sheet and select one of these. So I think I'm gonna do Walking in the Winter. Well, actually, I'm gonna do Sweet Winter. Even though it's on this tag, I can always use just a little squirrel by itself. Okay, so let me, so here's my image. So I'm just gonna ink a little bit using my Tim Holtz, whoops. I'm gonna be using my this distress ink. This is the brush corduroy. You can also find it at the store. And so I'm also gonna back this in this burlap. So I'm just gonna cut just a little piece like so, just enough to back my image like that. So I'm gonna add a bit of this glue. Okay, and then just a little bit more to be able to add. And I think I'm just gonna place this right up there without covering my fox too much. Not looking cute. Okay, and now I'm just gonna do a little cluster using a little bit of these flowers, just a bit of each, because I love the color of these flowers here. So I think I want to use this one and this one. I love that they're like the frosty colors, so they kind of look like winter flowers. And I'm just going to get some of these white ones. Okay, and I'm gonna save the rest for the inside of the album. Now this is so beautiful. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you can see how it looks like sugar coated, but I am actually gonna open this up and just use little pieces of it instead of using the whole thing combined, and see if I can separate it. Yeah, so you can definitely just do that. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna do my cluster first with these flowers. It's a little bit short. Add some color with that, and just do something messy like that. And then we can grab these beautiful, I'm gonna call these sugar stems. And then we can just add them on the back and make him kind of come out of the flower cluster. And then even we can use some of these leaves. They're so, I love the touches at the end with the little brown color and all. Looks really cute. All right, so now we have a combination of everything. Maybe one more here, and I think I want one more blue flower. So let me pick this one right there. So something like this. I'm just gonna go ahead and glue the flowers down. So now I am done embellishing the cover, and I think it turned out really cute. So now this is probably a good time if you want to add a closure to your album to add a closure. So I'm going to use some of these lace that I just have left over from a different project. It's just whatever I have here on my stash. I'm just gonna add a little bit of my fabric glue to just paste a little bit here, and of course we're gonna cover that. And then I know that's a little bit messy, but my glue is just acting up. And then I'm gonna do another one on this side, and I'm gonna trim this. It's not gonna stay this long, but then you want to kind of close it and make sure they are even. It's pretty close to being even. Okay, so now I have my closure added, and now we can go ahead and start decorating the pages. Before you add your design paper, make sure that you are adding your magnets if you are using magnets. I'm only using magnets for this accordion page, so 3 here. And notice I put this one on the bottom instead of at the same elevation as the one for this page, because you don't want, when you close your page, your magnets to be touching, because then these 2 pages will get stuck a lot. So you want it kind of like, you know, pay attention to those little details. And I'm not putting magnets in there, and I am putting magnets here. So I have one on this side and one on the bottom just to keep this down. Same thing with this page as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna speed up the video and add my papers, and then we'll do some final touches at the end. So as you can see, I started with the end of the signatures first. So I wanted to keep just one page flat here. I will add a couple things in there. And on the next one, I actually want to add some pockets. So I cut 2 pieces of cardstock. This measures 6.5 by 4. And I'm going to score 1/2 inch on each side, and then 1/2 inch on one of the longer sides to create my pockets. So I'm gonna do that with this one as well, just like this and like that. Then we're just gonna simply cut the corners like so. Okay, and if you have a border punch, you can go ahead and make a pretty edge on the top there, which is what I'm going to do here. I'm just gonna create a pretty border for my pocket. And now I'm doing this because I'm using 65-pound cardstock. If I was using 110, I wouldn't be using my paper punch on it because it could damage your punch. So now we have this pretty border like that, and I'm just gonna fold along the score lines just like this, and I will do the same for that one. But now I'm going to just go ahead and add it into this sheet here. So you can do that with tape or glue. So I'm just going to do my glue. I prefer to add my pockets with glue, that way you can adjust a little bit and make sure that it's straight on the corners here. So you want to match this corner just like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same on this side. Done adding all the papers in my album, and so I have two pieces here, and this measures 5 1/4 by 8 1/2, and these pieces are going to go in the front and back covers just to secure your closure and also to secure your hinge. Okay, so I'm gonna add these two. Okay. Here we go. So now the extra touches. I'm going to cover these two pieces as well, but for that, and this could be optional, you probably don't need to do it. If you feel like you need more room for pictures, you can go ahead and do it. So I'm going to cut this page at 5 1/2. Basically dividing these in two, and I'm going to do the same with another piece, 5 1/2, just like so. And then I'm gonna grab some scrap piece like this, and I'm going to cut these at 5 1/2 by 1, and this is all we're gonna need. Actually, we're gonna need 3 of those. So perfect. So I have 1, 2, and I can use this other piece to make one more. 5 1/2 by 1. And now all we're gonna do is fold this in half, just like so, and fold all of these ones as well. I'm gonna grab these little pieces of 1 inch, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. So then I'm folding those pieces in half, and I'm just gonna place them over here, right on the side that doesn't open. And then I'm just gonna add glue here as well. Okay, and now I'm gonna place the next one, and make sure that we have the openings all on the same place. So I'm just gonna place this right on top of that. just like so. And then I'm gonna continue building this up. Okay, so I put the little booklet together, and I went ahead and used my hem to tie around this little knot to keep it as a closure. So this is the one that I'm using. It's a natural hemp cord. So I really like the texture of this thing. I think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to just secure this with some tape here on the back. And then once I add my design paper here on the inside cover, that's where I'm going to put my booklet. Got this piece. This is from my scraps, and I'm just going to cover the front of this little booklet. So I won't cover all the inside pages because you guys, we're gonna put pictures on that, and you don't want this to be super thick. So I think I have shown you everything that you need to know to make this album. I'm going to continue with my paper, and I'm going to embellish some of these pages using the same technique that I did on the cover. Now, if you want to spend a little more time on this album, which I probably will too, you can do multiple of these little booklets and just add them on different places. Now remember that on some of these pages they have an inch gusset, so here you would add something like this, but on pages like, you know, the ones that are in between our signatures, like this one, you wouldn't want to put anything in here because we don't have a gusset in between this page. So and then also because I distress every single edge of this paper, it gives it a lot more volume, as you can see, and I really love how that looks. But anyway, don't forget to visit the store, JS Hobbies and Crafts, where you could get everything that you see here to make this mini album. I will leave the links on the description box below and the supply list as well. And of course, I'll be back with the complete reveal of my little album. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Please let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.